I don't get it. You know, you read the Old Testament, these guys have like 9 wives. Who the fuck decided we should only have one? What moron decided that?
You know who decided we should have only one wife and only have one spouse and stay consistent with that spouse? Intelligent people, obviously. Because in a system of polygamy, that would mean most men do not reproduce, which is what's happening now because women will have multiple partners and have multiple kids with, multiple kids with different guys, all those guys are having like all the women. And so what polygamy does is it effectively limits the amount of population growth you can have because you're having a select few men having total control over reproduction, which alienates most men because most men then don't reproduce. The population is effectively 50-50 in most cases. I mean, it's slight variation. But what this means in terms of reproduction is that in a monogamous society where that functions and doesn't have degenerate aspects of feminism or leftism, what happens is in this functional Christian society, what you have is one woman and one man in a union, and then they start a family. And ideally, you don't have divorce, you don't have any factor like that, so that you have this consistent family unit. And also, we don't have polygamy like that because STDs are a thing. That's just one of the obvious, results of that, too. Is that when you have, these people who sleep around all the time, that will, cause STDs and it will cause things to spread, which could cause mass death, it could cause, diseases, and, problems in the children, it could cause, incest, which could cause other problems, such like deformities, mental retardation, stuff like that. So what you're really doing is you're kneecapping the whole society because you wanna be a promiscuous degenerate. That's what's happening. Um, Polyamory in its rawest form is just elitism of top end men controlling most women. It is a patriarchal society in the worst way possible. Patriarchy is normally just. It is normally the greatest thing. Because what patriarchy does is it gives society stability. It says the father has control of the mother, the father has control of the home, and the father decides who beds his daughter, who beds his son. And that is a what woman beds his son, and that ultimately gives a societal control to the family at the most basic level. And the family will always be the most important factor in a society. Because once you destroy the family, you no longer have a functioning society. Society is made up of multiple family units, which all have to coexist in functionality, which is why immigrating different races over it just causes loads of issues. It's just not good for society. A lot of these ideas would be considered right wing, but back in the day, not even like 40 years ago, these traditional sort of semi-Christian family values were the norm. They were. And you have a lot of conservatives who don't actually value these principles, and they selectively employ certain aspects of it when it's convenient for cultural reasons. Like they will not say the honest part out loud, which is that men have control of women in a traditional Christian relationship, which is how it should be. But these cucks don't want to fucking admit it because admitting that would mean admitting the truth of how a patriarchal Christian society should work.